I always get in conversations and I'm like, why did I not record?
Oh, well, we do that. Yeah. So yeah, take two.
But I love you. You're very, you're a very soothing soul with a lot of wisdom. And I think that is why I immediately knew there was a connection. You're a polished version of what I am creating for myself. My
Hmm.
meaning, like you can story tell beautifully in a very soothing, calm, your deliverance is amazing. I'm currently working on my storytelling because what I learned is I don't share my story. I haven't shared my story on how I got to where I am. And I just discovered that over the last 2 weeks that I'm not sharing my story. I'm willing to help anybody and I know how to help you, but I wasn't sharing my own story.
We're sharing why. The context wasn't there.
Mhm.
Difficult to be vulnerable.
Mhm.
I mean, we're the goats that raised us, trained us that way.
Yes. Yes. And
And
that's
when
what I held back. Yeah.
and whenever we perceive a situation that reminds us of the time that we weren't picked until last for the sports team in sixth grade, or when we got scolded because we spilled the milk at the dining room table, or whatever the case may be, subconsciously we remember that. Goes, oh no, I'm not going to tell my story because I'm going to have this big weight of anger and rage and the goat reaction coming down to haunt me. And we go back to this, I'm 4 years old. And how do I protect myself? How do I keep myself safe?
That is so true. And so if we are talking and sharing with people, what would what would your biggest advice be to somebody who's in that spot? So for me, you're talking about going to your the 4-year-old self. I was stuck in the 16-year-old self.
Yeah.
And so I'd love to hear your thoughts on what you share, and then I can share what.
Yeah, beautiful. So you're wondering, I imagine that you're wondering, is there a key moment of selfdom that would benefit from healing?
Mhm.
So I'm going to offer that time is outside of reality. Everything exists now. And so when we heal an incident in one area of life, it's going to have a cascading effect on other areas, which is not to say that parts of us wouldn't benefit from the stranded castaway of Gilligan's Island. There were like 7 castaways, right? So maybe there's 7 different ages. Who knows? I just thought of that. But what I believe is that by trusting our inner wisdom and going back to the earliest memory of that same feeling that's present when we have an experience that is counter to what we desire in our life, when we go back there and really understand what was needed and use our adult logic and wisdom to talk to that part of us in a way that's loving, kind, and understanding. It's kind of like when you go to the grocery store and there's a mom walking down the aisle. She's got the cart and she's got the 3-year-old in the cart and they're kicking their feet and they're there's all this din of noise going around and there's walking down the cereal aisle, right? And all says, I want, yeah, I want. And like, and it's all at eye level. Mom's like, no, no, this is not good. Mom said, do you see this? What's on the, do you see, that's my daughter, Abby Rose. Do you see all the ingredients that are on here? It's got like 963% of your daily sugar allowance, 8 trillion% of red dye number 7. This is not good for you. You cannot have this. This is not good. No, no bueno. Kid's gonna say, I want it.
Yeah.
They don't logic. They don't logic. And we think that by talking to that 3-year-old child as an adult, we're going to convince them. They don't have the capacity. So when we go back with love and compassion and wait for that water to still, that calmness, understand what it is that they really desire, we can connect with them and reassure them and integrate them into our heart. And that part then becomes healed. And we can continue going up the chain of command on a timeline to do the same thing until all of a sudden the person feels resourced, powerful, and potent. And we can take it even one step further, go out into the future You were talking about the board of directors that you had, your mastermind. You go out into the future. Oh, you just gave me a great idea. And meet your wise self, gain that wisdom, step into that wise self with all these integrated parts, then take that wise self all the way back to that initial event.
I love it.
See how that transforms even more the benefit in the learning in that. So every upset's a setup to heal. Every upset's a setup to heal. And see, that's why our stories are so important. Set up to heal other people. So we go back and we say, oh, yeah, this really meant whatever it meant. Great. Go to the next one, next one, next one, next one, and keep going forward and walk right into our mission and imagine and visualize ourselves being that person now.
I love that you shared that. Because you called it the wise person. I always say when I'm 80, I refer to it as the 80-year-old version of myself. Is she going to be proud, happy, or what is she going to say about this moment? And I get the wisdom, but what I love about what you just said is taking that version of myself and having her go all the way back to that 16-year-old version and with kindness and compassion and allow her to heal and then go up the chain. Like that is so beautifully connected, because I had my 16-year-old self. I feel her pain. I felt her pain. She's healed. But connecting my 80-year-old, the wise woman, right? The crone, allowing her to go all the way back and connect to that is such a beautiful thing. And for me, I visioned like the chakras up the system, right? The energy system, just healing one system at a time. And wow, that is super powerful. That is a powerful share.
But wait, there's more.
I can't wait.
You can go back to before this life.
Whew.
Why did I choose my life as Jennifer?
Oh, that's deep.
Why did I choose my parents? Why did I choose my siblings if I have them? What am I here to learn? What's my highest life's purpose? And as I go through the process of gestation, in my awareness, I can see that all of those situations and circumstances that I perceived in utero, trusting my subconscious mind to correct them, work to my benefit. So that entire timeline is healed subconsciously, and I benefit from it. And then I can go through my entire life to when I'm leaving my body in this life, drifting, floating, drifting up into the interlife of infinite now wisdom and knowledge. Step into that so that at the end of this life, I have no regrets, no regrets.
What a peaceful way to live.
And then take that all the way back and grow it up again. And in growing it up again, it's not linear, it's multidimensional. And as it becomes multidimensional, we access the wisdom of our ancestral beings on matriarch and patriarchal sides. And they cheer us on. It's like this huge stadium full of thundering applause. That's how we heal the planet, in my opinion.
I love it. I'm on board. I want to spread that message with you. As we're talking, I'm like, I can definitely turn this into a joint podcast right now. I can make this and then I can send it. You're talking and that's my thought system, because I'm like, this is such powerful stuff. And I don't know how long it took you to get to where you are, like connecting your mind and body. For me, it was a journey, and to be around like-minded people who are connected in the way that that you're connected, it's just so empowering. And it feels so like my heart is exploding with joy and love right now with this conversation, that I feel it's like, this needs to be we need to share this, and it's authentic. We didn't come up with a script or we were just like, hey, what are you doing Wednesday? You want to talk?
This was a rescheduled meeting that we originally scheduled, like, I don't know, however long ago it was. So yeah, this is totally unscripted.
Which is
Totally unscripted. And we even froze.
I know, which is best. We keep, you know what I love? It's about being real in our stories. And like you said, that's where I've come to realize like my story is important to share. And the goats of my life, that it's okay. I know that they're there and that they were there for a reason and for a purpose and for a season. But it is my time to be the authentic person that is I know is in there because she
No.
was crying this morning when she was watching the replay,
Yeah.
seeing all these beautiful stories and listening to all people. Because I think along the way, sometimes you feel you're alone when you haven't connected with
Yeah.
yourself. And
Sometimes.
I feel like a lot of people are struggling with that, feeling that sense of lost.
Yep. Totally. Totally. You said something really very important that I want to pull back up. Oh, stories are so important. So would it be okay with you if you asked me, how did I, as you asked me, like, I interpreted the question as like, not how did you get to where you are, but something along those lines. Was it in that field?
Yeah. It's in any way you interpret, I can't wait to hear it.
So a little like a brief part of my story, I was at 17 years old, I had a brain aneurysm. My platelet count was about 7,500 versus a couple 100,000, which is normal. And so because of that, a vessel in my right frontal lobe burst. And the pain on a 0 to 10 scale was a 10. I went into a coma for several days and received over 85 blood transfusions because I just kept pouring it in, and the spleen was producing antigens that killed all my platelets off. And so this is before blood screening, pouring it in, pouring it in, pouring it in. And luckily, I didn't contract any blood diseases. But what I realized this morning is that I I transformed some aspect of over 80 people through my physical body by accepting their blood. I realized that actually this morning for the first time, thinking, wow, that was no that was no small deal. Um, that later, so they took my spleen out because it was producing antigens that consumed my platelets, and that later on led to lupus, systemic lupus. A high percentage of people that have this disease called ITP, idiopathic thrombocytopenic purpura, go on to develop lupus. But systemic lupus that led to lupus nephritis. I had a grand mal seizure in and amongst all of that. And lupus vasculitis, which resulted in a stroke and several TIAs. So my perception of life changed dramatically. Dramatic change in perception of life. So the good news is that it was dramatic change in perception of life. The uncomfortable part was that the way I was functioning, I had to adapt the way that I was functioning. And it's, sometimes it's difficult, like the monkey that holds do you know how they trap monkeys in the jungle? They put a piece of fruit in like a large urn, like maybe urn this big,
Mhm.
small, narrow opening, just big enough for the monkey to get its paw through. They grab hold of the fruit, and then it's like, I'm stuck. I'm stuck. I can't get my. So until we let go of that past or our attachment to how things should be, we're trapped. So it's the story of surrender that was forced through intense heat, fire, and pain. That's how I got to where I am. I just didn't give up. Like our leaders say, just don't give up. Just keep going. If you fall down, fall forward, get up, keep going, keep going.
Oh, that's a beautiful share and just a share of resilience. And I liked how you touched on about the 80,000, right? It was 80.
80.
Okay, so 80, but 80 lives. And that's true. And a lot of people might not believe it, but it is true. I've studied that as well. When you get transplants or hearts or lungs or blood, you are taking on that person's energy and whatever that energy being. So that's energetically, that's a lot of different energies coming at you too. So I think too, that's would contribute to who you are, obviously, but that calm sense and your ability just to connect with so many different people and personalities.
Might could be. Yeah, very well could be. I just thought of it this morning when I shared earlier about the individual that's gone through some serious health challenges and the work that we did together on this anonymous person. And yeah, so it's a blessing. This is all a blessing, right? So when we go back in that wisdom and say, oh, why did this happen? This happened because instead of I had to go through that, it's like I get to go through that. I got to go through that. Didn't happen to me, it happened for me. And because it's for me, it can also be for somebody else. It's the idea of these things flow through me.
I
Not,
love that
oh,
concept. I'm going to hang on to that and I'm going to share it with as many people as I can. I love that because it lets go of that lack mentality, even though if you're thinking you're not lack, but if you're drawing it in and you're holding on to it, it is that lack. So if you can let go of that and just visualize it flowing through you, the faucet is open and you're going to constantly, I love that. I love that thought.
I'd like to share something about that if I may.
Of course, please.
Subconscious mind is literal. Subconscious mind will create that which we instruct it to create. So if we desire to let go of something, the only way to make that true is to be holding on to it. So when we reframe our languaging to something along the lines of, because I value harmony in life, because I value service to humanity, all things I do serve others for their highest good in alignment with their wise self. And then it becomes up to them to interpret on their journey how to integrate that, how to accept that transfusion of purity that's coming from your heart in a way that honors their path in life and however that may show up.
So beautiful. I always feel blessed when I get to connect with people like yourself or like-minded people. I don't know how it feels for you, but energetically, I feel like I just got this burst of energy and love. And I am so grateful that I get to connect with so many people like that throughout the day. I'm not even just the week. I get to connect to people like that throughout the day. And it's such a gift. And I'm so glad that we got to spend this time. And I'm definitely going to be sharing this with other people in the world, and I'll send it to you because if people can tap into this kind of love and energy and the purity of it, oh, it's this natural energy boost, this natural high that you're getting from connection, from
Oh,
words.
it's the truth of who we are.
It's
Just
so
the
amazing. Energetically, because I'm a very energetic being, which I know you are just listening to how you speak. It just, you can feel it, like my heart is vibrating. And that is the beautiful thing about this. The more I vibrate, the more people around me will vibrate. I love this so much. It is my mission as well and so we laugh about keeping things simple, but I want people to live good and feel good. At the end of the day, that is my mission, whether
Mm,
you're 3 or 103.
exactly. However old we are, because time's an illusion, right?
Yeah.
Do you believe you've lived before?
I haven't thought of it until you said it, but I do believe that.
Okay,
And
so
I know that I'll living after that. I know for sure.
so if we believe in reincarnation, we say how many, like let's say maybe somebody's lived 200 lives. Just I'm just picking a number. Let's say the average lifetime is 50 years, that's 10,000 years. If we take our age, however old we are, and divide it by that number, we get to see that this problem that we had in this one day of our life
Oh, I know.
is like, it's like, really? I'm going to focus on, it's like, really? I'm going to focus on, in the grand scheme of things, it's nada.
Yes, and you even made it that much bigger. I always make it to my 100-year-old self. Is she going to be upset with? But you just broaden it, so it's like, really, you're going to waste a second worrying about that or a second thinking about that? I think that should be our next deep dive. Is like,
Time.
why worry about something when you break life into those moments, those grand moments? And if we're even just talking like our physical lifetime, are we going to remember those things? Are they going to be important? And we, the collective, we hold on. And that's in that holding on that you're talking about. That's what keeps us stuck. That's what keeps us living in yesterday. And we're not living in that moment to moment. The infinite time, the unknown, like this large, beautiful place that we're living, all the dimensions. Like for a
Yeah.
lot of people, it's like, what are you talking about? And but I'm so happy that I'm past that. What are you talking about, period person? And I'm actually like, yeah, it's really fascinating. And the more you study this, the more you connect with your mind, the more you connect with your body and other people. It's like, it's so relaxing and much more enjoyable to live, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe we'll talk about the goats next time to put this in context so that you have that. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, right
this
on.
will be our first, and it's so fun. This was so fun. I hope it was fun
Oh,
for you.
yeah, it just like fills me with joy and gratitude. Totally
Same.
fills.
Like I said, my heart is like, what? It's singing. Can you hear it? And I think there's so many people. I know for myself, I got so much out of our time together today. There's so many people that would benefit from the conversation. I love this. We are definitely doing this again.
Right on.